Greetings, Batprince here, and today we are playing Werewolf, Heart of the Forest. New game! Please wait. Bum bum bum. Premonition. Start the chapter, please. I have no rage, 2 willpower, 3 health. It is June 20th in the morning. This is a game about rage, and how it helps us to do things that need to be done, as well as the things that we later regret. Sometimes both. How do you feel about that? Great, I'm always angry. That's my secret. I'm okay with anger when it's useful, or will I prefer to think before I act? I am 100% that bottom guy, unfortunately. But that's fine, my rage is low. I'm the observant and cunning type, how I think most people would like to click. But, maybe they're not. I actually am that guy. Sometimes I, think about letting it all go and do. But you gotta think about it first. There is no right path here, just your decisions and their consequences. Let us just follow the path. Or consequences, monconsequences. I'm smarter than that. No, we'll just follow the path and see where it takes us. The forest! The woods are full of stars. They flicker. Come closer. Run away! They want me to chase them. Play hide and seek. I observe. Next paragraph. I watch as they dance around the tree trunks, float up on the gusts of wind that shiver through the branches, disappear among the leaves. They are words in their dance, but I don't understand them. Not yet. They bunch up and fly towards me like an arrow. Rushing down, they're soon upon me. But before the spear of light pierces my breast, they disappear. The dark of night returns. In the darkness, the spirits keeping the forest alive whisper about the enemy. I begin to move unnoticed, one with the night. I wake up, cold and alone. Confused, I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay, to such an extent that it is hard to breathe. Smell fascinates me. Recognize forest. I recognize this forest. I have been dreaming about this place since I was a child. The tree trunks, wrapped tightly in dark leaved ivy, are covered in ripples of lichen where the vines haven't taken hold. The thorny leafless bushes at their base are overrun with nettles, and the fungi radiate with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark, sponge-like mushrooms cling to the fallen trees. I try to breathe. Suddenly I realize that is not the forest that smells foul. It is me. I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I am naked. A sickly, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I can feel it on my face, my hair, my blood. I am alert. Nature is ever so quiet. The leaves, they rustle in the wind. Whoosh. Small creatures scuttle in the undergrowth. There is a whisper. I don't understand what it means, but the word resonates in my head. Garoo! Who said that? There is a severed head in front of me. Some choices are hard. They strain your willpower. Can I willpower enough to touch it? We will see. I reach out and... overcoming my disgust, I gently touch the wet hair and watch as the head topples over. The face is contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open, as though a head was still struggling for air. I look at it. I start to laugh. And then the eyes open in the darkness. Who is it? I can see their silhouettes, a shade of jet black against the darkness. They smell of fur and moss and bloodied earth. Massive creatures with some horns, some antlers. Their eyes burn like small fiery windows into hell. I look at them. Something wakes inside of me. Defiance. They tell me stories of their lost battles and dying hopes, and I say, no! I tell them my stories of the enemy and how they are so stupid, so clueless, that they almost feel pity when we kill them. They listen and they laugh. I laugh with them. In a moment of clarity, I almost understand what the forest wants from me. And then I wake up. Chapter 1. The Arrival. Time to start the chapter. Dreams. Maria! Maria! Maria, wake up! I opened my eyes. My neck was stiff. I stretched lazily. As I ascended where I was out at the corner of my eye, I wasn't in the forest anymore, but on a bus. The sun streaming through the windows. It was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, but disturbed. I comforted her. That's all right, I said as I squeezed her hand to comfort her. She looked at me, concerned. You were laughing, like maniacally. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there, and the taste of blood was in my mouth. I'm glad that I wasn't alone. Thank you for comforting me, I said. The girl next to me, she smiled. I think we are almost there. Her name was Anya. We'd met a couple of weeks earlier on the orientation day. She was from Norway. A tall, broad-shouldered, calm person who wore her long hair in braids. Somehow, I managed to talk her into this crazy field trip across the land of my ancestors. She seems excited. She reached into her backpack and took out 2 apples. I'm really happy we decided to come here, she said. Yeah, I said, offering her some of my cabanossi, dried meaty sausages that were so much better than the original Polish ones back in the US. I was glad Anya had decided to come with me. I had problems keeping friends around and really needed one. I did some searching, she said from over her phone, and this place is amazing. The last primordial forest in Europe. I mean, this trip was my idea. Our summer language course was starting in a few weeks, and I managed to talk Anya into skipping the tours of concentration camps and old churches, visiting the Belthwestia National Park with me instead. So far it's beautiful, she said, her eyes smiling. But why are we here again? Good question, I proclaimed. Why were we there? There being Belthwazdik, a small village in northeast Poland near the border of Belarus. It was famous for its national park, the very last European bison, and, according to a quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and the local Belarusian community. The most honest answer would have been, because I've been dreaming about the forest in Belthwazdia since I can remember, but people didn't understand when I said things like that. I looked into her eyes, and I told her everything. I've always had these dreams where I'm in this forest. It speaks to me, I said hesitantly. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I'm supposed to be here. Only my grandfather understood the dreams. Respect the forest, he would say, and pay attention to your dreams. It was all I got from that part of the family before my mum took me, ran away, and cut off all contact with my dad. I instantly regretted saying anything. But Anya, she took her time to answer, and with every passing second I felt more and more humiliated, and angrier at myself. Wow, that's intense, she said at me with what seemed like respect. I wouldn't dare tell anyone a story like that. I think it is great that you come from such a magical place, she smiled. The last ancient forest in Europe, thousands of years old. I wasn't sure if I was fond of that magic, but it was hard to ignore. And that was precisely why I needed to do something, anything, about my future. And that damned forest in my weird-ass family, I had a clear goal in mind. I wasn't there by mistake. I'd planned this trip for months with a clear goal in mind. I had to figure out my destiny. My grandfather's cryptic remarks, the strange dreams, all the drama with my dad's family, something was coming for me, something big. I wasn't sure what to believe. I wasn't sure if I believed. Destiny. I needed to understand what was happening. I was ready to face whatever fate had in store for me. I had it. I was a woman of my own fate. Oh, we're here. My willpower has dropped to 0. When I lose all my health or willpower, I become impaired. This will make physical tasks, if you have 0, or social mental tasks, if you have 0, harder to... Oh, so when I clicked on the willpower options behind my face just then, I actually used willpower. I thought I was just being able to use that option because I had that willpower, but apparently you use it. Take note, people who play this game after me and decided to watch my video before you play it. The willpower isn't how many willpower you have, you are spending it. And Bielowezia looked like an overexposed photo of a village. With the contrast turned all the way up, heat was pouring from the cloudless sky, scorching the earth. The trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences, everything looked slightly past its best. Weary, worn out. Everything except the shadows. They were sharp, as though they were freshly printed with the darkest of inks, and they moved. For a second I could have sworn they'd moved, but then I realized it was just a black cat walking down the sidewalk when it saw me and stopped in its tracks. I watched it with suspicion. "Hey," I said, "do you think there are rabbit cats? 'Cause this one is sure acting weird. I mean, there are rabid squirrels. Why not cats? Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us?" she said, shrugged while looking around. But he wasn't there, and the cat was still staring at me. Let's go. Anya put on her backpack. I'm tired, and I really need to find a toilet. I don't know what to do. I was too tired and distracted to think clearly because I have no willpower. My friend was nowhere into sight. I still have rage though, so I can use the rage. Or I could wait for the meeting. Okay, I'm in a place where I don't know where I am. I think the meeting is just too important. I'm not going to use the anger to just make me leave without knowing where the heck I am. The meeting is just too important to leave. I'm sorry, Rage. I will just wait a little bit longer. I don't have his number and we really need to meet up with him. His name is Bartek. I'd met him online while researching Bielowezia. The man knew everything here there was to know about local history. I asked him to dig around for anything connecting my family to the forest or any strange prophecies. You know, I hope he's found something. I really need to pee. Anya said like it was a 5-year-old, not a very bright year one. So I can either rage against her and say, I wasn't going anywhere. I could make puppy dog eyes and just leave it normal, or I can cave to her. Gives me some of my rage back, which makes me angry, and I've still got one rage up here to spend, so why not? We could plus rage. Do I need all that rage? I don't know. Let's just go the, I made puppy dog eyes. Just pee against the wall, please. Let's just wait a few more minutes, please. Pretty please. I made my best puppy dog eyes. It's important. I have 0 willpower, so I can't do anything about the fact that Anya just looked at me and walked away. I grabbed my backpack and timidly followed her. Too tired to argue. I mean, women and their not being able to pee against fences. Am I right? It's time for bed and breakfast. Bielowezia had a few hotels and hostels. Ooh, we don't want to know about those hostels. But the preferred form of accommodation was a bed and breakfast, and that's where we stayed. I found one that was nice, clean, and that had good reviews. We had a room on the 2nd floor with a huge window and a great view of the forest. We dropped off our stuff, freshened up a bit. Maybe we should have waited for your friend, Anya asked, concerned. I mean, I said so, but you needed to piss in a toilet instead of against a fence. I shrugged. I'll find him sooner or later. Before I go, check out your character sheet. Look for it in the upper right-hand corner. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, I can't click on anything. We don't have anything to help. It's just all got to do with what we've chosen in the things. Okay. Lay of the land. Ooh, can we choose things? I had a clear goal in mind. The land was calling me, and I wanted to understand my destiny. I can either go to the town where my ancestors lived, or down here to the forest that I dreamed about. Frankly, I should follow my dreams. Click. Oh boy. Into the woods. It was dark in the woods. Dark. Humid and chilly. The leaves didn't let through a lot of the sunlight. Daniel. Who's Daniel? Wait! Who's Daniel? Where did Daniel come from? Who is this guy who came into the woods with us? I don't know who Daniel is. What the heck? Anyway. Daniel looked at Aya and me over his shoulder. How do you like her? We'd met maybe 20 minutes earlier. And you had Googled local guides, and apparently he was the best person to go to if you wanted to see the forest.
It might hurt your device.
What? Shut up. So I found him now we were here. I wasn't sure whom he meant. He was a strange one. Why did we get him? Who knows? Slender but muscular, not the CrossFit type, but it was more of a kind of strength you get from working all day long in the open. His skin was weather-beaten and bronzed by the sun, like a tanned leather. And he moved in a very deliberate way. His fingers were slim and delicate. His eyes were the strangest shade of a yellow-green. So, he repeated, how do you like her? I wasn't sure whom he meant. So I said, do you mean the forest? Polish was a strange language that gave the most unexpected genders to objects and ideas. I mean, Puzkaza. He gestured around us. The word sounded like the wind rustling through the leaves. Is the right word, not forest. Forests are like fields or orchids, cultivated. He spat as he said it. And Pushkashka, she is older than even the concept of fields. He was using the word as if it was a name. I stood there. I watched the forest. I looked around with fresh eyes. I felt as though I had entered an ancient tomb. Gigantic dread. Trunks were decomposing slowly around me, young plants and colorful mushrooms sprouting from them. The trees that still lived stretched outwards to the sky, like columns holding up the vaulted canopy which blocked out all but a few rays of sunlight. There was a stillness, and there was movement, darkness, and light. If spirits existed, this place would be swarming with them. There should be more places like this, I said earnestly. One or more of this place. Daniel lifted his head and looked right into the eyes. Yes, you're right, he said with a serious expression. Then I remembered why I was there. I told him that I dreamed about this forest. I'm not from here, I continued, but I think something secret connects me to this place. I dream about the forest a lot. Daniel stopped abruptly and turned to me, watching me for a while. His nostrils, they flared as though he was tasting the air. Yes, his face broke into a smile. I think our families might have known each other. Many winters past. Pazuzuka still remembers. Come on, he started walking. I know exactly what you need to see. Which sounded vague. I bet he told all the tourists that, but I followed him. And now we are at the crossroads. What will we? Have to choose a path, he said. There's the old wolf den, or I could show you the burrows first, or a clearing that some folks call a place of power. I get to choose one of three, but I'm not going to because, whoa, look at that time. We're gone nearly half an hour. I'll see you kiddies sometime later. Nighty night.